Hey everybody, welcome back to the warbossfitz channel, and today we are going to be going over the human empire in Age of Fantasy. But first, a word from our sponsor. Fleet Admirals, Generals, your reinforcements have arrived. At PrintedStarships.com, you will find high-quality 3D printed starships and sci-fi armies ready for deployment. Whether you're commanding fleets in Star Wars or Armada, dogfighting in X-Wing, battling in one-page rules war fleets, or leading ground forces in grimdark future, we've got the precision-crafted models you need to seize victory. Use code warbossfitz for 15% off your order. That's PrintedStarships.com. Prepare to take command of the tabletop. So here we go with the human empire, the land of man-sized rats, lizards, walking nightmares, and ogres that are there to eat your face, along with orcs that just want to beat it in. Let's talk about the basic humans. Now this is one of the sets that One Page Rules have brought out completely, so we're going to be looking at their models as we go through. Now the human empire, they have a pretty fleshed out history, lore section, but we don't do that here. That's for other channels. Let's take a look at the army-wide special rule. Hold the line. Units where all models have this rule get +1 to morale test rolls. We had this with the Human Defense Force in Grimdark Future, and by God, the humans got it in Fantasy. So looking at our special rules, are there a few that we have to look at here? Caster group. This is when you have an entire squad of casters. So that is an option. We'll talk about that more when we get to it. Coordinate, just like the Human Defense Force have in Grimdark Future. Here we can activate multiple units at once, as long as they're close to each other. Fracture, this is one of the rules that the special weapons that the humans have. Ignores cover and an unmodified roll of a 6 to hit. It gets AP 2. It'll be interesting to see what we can put that on. Reposition artillery. Once per activation, pick one friendly model within 6 with artillery, which may immediately move by up to 9. We don't see this much in Age of Fantasy, so if you have a cannoneer expert, you can move stuff. And then, of course, we have the buff to hold the line, which gives you the hold the line buff boost, and that gives you +2 to morale instead of just +1. So let's look down here. To aura special rules. We just have one. Regeneration aura. This model and its unit get regeneration. Okay, let's look at the spells. Offensive spells. Let's see, you got Fireball, which gets you AP1 and Fracture. Blood Hex. One enemy unit takes 6 hits within 12. And Spirit Leech. One enemy model within 18 takes 6 hits with AP1. So we do have a sniper spell in here. Let's look at the rest of them. Let's start at the bottom. Aura of Heroism. One friendly unit within 12 gets the hold the line boost. One time, the next time the effect would apply. So the next time they roll morale, it gets a +2. Magic Targeting. This one's pretty nice. Pick up to 2 enemy units within 18, which friendly units get +1 to hit rolls in melee the next time the effect would apply. So if you have some lesser quality troops, you want to get them in there, hitting a little bit more. Maybe push you over the top to see who has to take the morale test. That is a pretty good option. And then Elemental Form, pick up to 3 friendly units within 12, which get AP +1 in melee once the next time the effect would apply. Again, wow, you can double this up here. Get a unit +1 to hit and +1 AP. It takes 5 magic points and some good dice rolls to do it, but it is a possibility. All right, well, let's go ahead and hop into the list and start looking at units. So we're going to do this a little bit more holistically than we normally do. I'm not going to read everything out. I mean, this is Age of Fantasy. You've got sticks, you've got spears, you've got swords, you got maces. They all do different things. I'm going to be talking about the unit and its utility as a whole to the army. So let's go ahead and start off with our lesser of our 2 heroes here, the Champion. Yeah, you only get 2 hero options in the human empire. So here we have a 5/5 hero, toughness 3. And for his buffs, he could do the reposition artillery, making you an engineer. Rapid rush buff, giving you +6-inch move, giving this unit +6-inch move when it uses rush, but not when it charges. So if you just want to move something around real fast, that's an option. We got the Furious buff, giving everybody in the unit Furious. This in Age of Fantasy is very, very good, depending on which squad you put it on. Regeneration Ore to give him all regeneration. Precision Shooter to give him and his unit +1 to hit in shooting. Oh, I skipped it. These aren't auras. These are buffs. These are all within 12 inches, so you can give this to somebody else. That's even better. Precision Shooter +1 to hit. Caster 2 and Caster 3. We already talked about the spells. Weapons, like I said, we got sticks. We got a couple swords. We got bigger sticks. We got halberds. And we have great weapons. And we have twin Gatling pistols. So you can do a lot of range stuff on this guy. Pistols, bows, grenade launchers, crossbows, Gatling rifles, or sniper rifle. You can give him repel ambushers, pushing anyone who wants to ambush you outside 12 inches away. And you can give this character a horse, a robo-skeleton horse, or a robo-hulk. And he is only toughness 3, so if you do the robot hulk, it only becomes toughness 6. It still can go in a unit. And it's pretty nice. Pretty nice there, getting 3 more attacks at AP2 and a 4-up armor. Interesting. We'll talk more about what units he could go in. We'll create some units as we go along. But let's look at the bigger of the two heroes, the Battlemaster. This one is a 4/4 toughness 3. We got a couple of different things here. We have the Hold the Line boost buff. Someone within 12 gets +2 to the morale test. Rapid Rush buff. 12 inches, you can move faster. Furious buff. 12 inches, someone gets furious. Precision Fighter Mark. Now this is different from the Precision Shooter buff from the last guy. This one, you pick an enemy with an 18, and you get +1 to hit in melee against it. Now we got Fear of 3 with an Army Standard Bearer. Don't sleep on this one. Having Fear of 3, unless you run into something really dumb, is pretty much going to mean you win that combat. Then we have the Precision Shooter buff and Coordinate. This is the one where you can pick a different unit within 12 to activate on the same activation. A little pricey at 55 points, but activating 2 units at once could pretty much clear out a flank or break a center, depending on if you use it at the right time. So for weapons, we got heavier versions of the sticks, swords, spears, and maces and stuff. And then for shooting, less shooting here, we have twin fire powder pistols. These are the ranged weapons where you get fracture, pretty much a half rending. Instead of a 6 for AP4, it's a 6 for AP2. Here's the twin pistols and a twin handbow. You do the same repel ambushers, and you get to do more stuff. Down here is the horse. Then you have Pegasus, which gives you fast flying, impact 2, toughness 3. A Griffin, 6 attacks with rending, stomps, extra armor, fear of 2, flying, and toughness 12. +12, giving you 15. Or a Dragon, 6 attacks AP1, a stomp, 4 attacks AP1. Armor goes all the way to 3. Breath attack, fear 2, flying, and toughness 12, meaning you're at toughness 15. Now this could be definitely a beat stick character. You can go with either the Griffin or the Dragon. There's only 20 points difference between them. The difference is with the Griffin you get rending attacks, and with the Dragon you get AP1 attacks plus an extra breath attack. And breath attack is really nice. In my opinion, it's going to be worth at 20 points, because that breath attack gives you the option to attack a second target that's close by. On a 2-up, you hit him with a blast of 3 at AP1. When you do in big models like this one, well, it's big. It's still only 300 points at this point, but if you're doing stuff like this with your larger models, you want to make them be able to affect, more than one unit at once. So in this case, I would take the Dragon over top of the Griffin just for that breath attack. For the rest of it, I mean, your flying Dragon, I would definitely go for Heavy Lance, because if you use that, you're going to be hitting on a 3. It's going to be AP2 because of the thrust rule. Because you're only a human, your quality is only ever going to be a 4. This is a way to get past that, is with the thrust. And then for the upgrades here, this one's up to you. I mean, they're all pretty good in their own way. I mean, you can go Army Standard Bearer to make yourself a fear of 5. You ain't never lose combat. If you lose combat, you're probably losing your life. Precision Fighting Mark, get your Dragon down to hitting on a 3, and get your champion here hitting on a 2 with his thrust weapon. Furious buff, you got plenty of attacks. You might as well fish for some 6s on there. Rapid Rush, you're I don't see you using this one. And hold the line boost buff, maybe if you have another unit that is close to like give that buff to, but if you're on a dragon, I have a feeling that you're going to be fighting on your own or fighting in a spot where everything around you might just die. So I would think if you're going to buff anybody, it's going to be yourself. So I would be looking at either the Furious buff, the Precision Fighting Mark, Fear of 5, and then everything else would just be kind of wasted because I don't think anything else is going to be close enough for you to be buffing. And with that in mind, I mean, Griffin, if you like Griffins over Dragons, is a possibility too. Takes you down to 295 over the 315 that we just got a Dragon to. Yeah, I would go with a Dragon. Griffin is almost as good, and the points reflect that. Some people like feathers over scales. Me, I'm indifferent. So let's look at our units. We're going to start off with the Mage Council. They're 5/5 caster groups, so this is where you're going to be pooping out spells. And then you also have 2 shots apiece of 12 inches with rending. Don't look at this. You don't want to be up in the mix with these because they are 160 points for 5 of them. You don't want to get that close with these. You don't want to get them jumped on. So let's say you take a unit and you combine them because you're going to get these points back every turn. You count the number of models in the unit to be your caster number. I would combine them. If I'm going to take them, I'm going to take a big squad. This way we could throw out some elemental form in turn 1 to set up your melee troops to do what they need to do. Maybe move forward and then do some magical targeting here. So you've spent all 5 points, or you spent 5 of your points, and then do an aura of heroism to give somebody hold the line boost. You don't want to get these guys in combat. They're definitely a second or a third line that's just throwing spells out there, trying to increase your stuff. Next, we have the infantrymen, your basic dudes with sticks. You get 10 of them in the squad for 70 points, so just figure they're 7 points apiece. They're cheap enough, right? You get hold the line, and they're a 5/5. Quality 5, defense 5. 1 attack apiece. This is your basic infantry. You can either do render or counter. You can't give them an upgrade to get like 2 attacks. You can do extended buff range on those. To get your character's buffs out to 24 inches, it doubles the range of the buffs. 5 points might be worth it. Might be worth it for that one, depending on how you want to play it. And then you have the options for the command section, which is Sergeant. 1 person gets pretty much a Furious. If they roll 6 to hit, they get an extra hit. They have a Banner, which gives them +1 to morale, or a Musician, which is +1 to move action. So starting at a 5/5, 5 more points, give them that Banner. Now they're a quality 4, plus their special rule of hold the line means that your basic infantry are at a 3+ for morale. Some people really wanted to see some offensive special rules for their army, but with these guys, this hold the line, it means you're not going to run away nearly as much as you did before. Put banners in your units and your army is going to be hard to get rid of. So, basic infantry. At this point, with the extended buff and the banner, we're at 80 points. I would definitely combine this. I like big bricks infantry. Now they have to do 10 wounds to you to even get you to a point to do a morale test, and then it's on a 3. Plus, with the extended buff range, you have a hero at 24, giving them an extra +1 to pass morale on a 2. Or, if you take the Mage Council, throw the spell on there, again, they're passing morale on a 2. 20 bodies is rough to chew through for a single squad. I mean, there are some squads that could do it, but it's going to take either multiple activations in one turn or multiple turns to get rid of one of these squads, and it's only 150 points. That's not even 10% of your army. What I'm trying to say is take the boys. Take the boys. They'll get you through. Next, we have Fanatics. These guys are nuts, and I love it. 85 points for 10 of them. They're a 5/6 unit, quality 5, defense 6. They have hold the line, and they are furious. So if they charge and they roll 6, they get an extra hit. And what do they got? They got sharp sticks. We got sharp weapons. 1 attack apiece at AP1. You can't do any upgrades for weapons. And again, we have the Sergeant, Banner, Musician. Again, click on the banner. Now you're saving all 3 for morale. Not really much more to say about these guys. These are the offensive version of your infantrymen. Infantrymen going to stick around for a while. These guys want to get in the slop. They want to charge in there and just start beating stuff. They have a defense of 6, so if they get attacked back, they are going to die by the handful. But yeah, that's what they're there for, is to just run forward, beat stuff, and die. Next, we got mercenaries, 55 points for 5 of them, so now we're at 11 points apiece. These guys are starting to get a little bit pricey. We are a 5-5 unit, and they got hold the line and scout, which means they get to pretty much start the game in the middle of the board. So they have firepower pistols, 9-inch range, one shot with fracture. Again, that's if you roll 6, you get AP2. Not terrible, and because you only hit on a 5, there's going to be half of your hits at AP2. Not bad. Range is pretty short, but with scout, you're going to be able to get in there. Turn 1, you should have someone in range because, you move 6, you fire 9, 15 inches away. That's over the enemy's deployment line. You should be good for at least one volley. What do we got for options here? We could do get rid of the pistols, do dual hand weapons. We could get rid of the firepower pistol and put just a regular pistol, give him AP1. You could do twin fire powder pistols for 2 shots with fracture and 1 hand weapon, or twin pistols, 2 shots AP1, and a hand weapon for 15 points. And then you have the Empire Bounty upgrade for a precision fighting mark, and this is in melee, it's not for shooting. With these, this is interesting. Anytime I can get more than 1 shot on a tough 1 unit, that's only 65 points at that point. Ooh, we're only hitting on a 5. But half of those are going to be AP2. Ooh, yes, combine that unit. So, start the game at the mid-board, and then you can fire into the enemy's deployment zone, or something that's moved up there. 20 shots, half of those are going to be AP2. Yes, please. 130 points. You're not going to survive a clapback. You're only defense 5. And you got to get within charge range to fire those off. But, man, this is a good, missile unit. Just fire them forward and go. Just do damage. If you come back, cool. If not, I really don't care. I got stuff behind you. 130, that's cheap. I like it. Next, we jump all the way up to Elite Weapon Masters, and they're only 70 points. Yeah, they are elite, but man, they're cheap. The whole army is cheap until you get into the bigger stuff. So they're quality 4, defense 4, and they have hold the line. They all have great weapons for 1 attack AP2, and their only options are to get the extended buff range and then the command section. And here, if you do the banner, all of a sudden they are saving morale tests on a 2. It's quality 4, banner goes to 3, hold the line goes to a 2. And if you combine the squads, 145 points. Here we go. Again, real cheap. Real cheap. Your foot troops are expendable. Your boys are going to die, but they are going to die standing right where they are, not 1 step backwards. These guys are good enough to where you might be thinking about putting a champion there with a regeneration aura to get them, defense 4 with regeneration on top of it. Have these guys stick around for a little bit longer. Like I said, with the 2 up for morale, they're probably not going to run away. So keeping more bodies in the fight for longer is probably a good choice. Or if you want to just go full gas pedal to the floor, Furious buff with those. Now 1/3 of your attacks can give you extra attacks. It's an option, but you're probably going to want to do something different. You're going to want to use Furious buffs on stuff that have more than 1 attack. Just, for weight of attacks and dice and the way things work out. I mean, the math might work that way, but in my brain it says otherwise. So let's move on. Next, we're at the marksman. It's time for some firepower. 5 of them for 60 points. They're a 5-5 unit with hold the line. They come with fire powder rifles for 1 shot with fracture at 18 inches. Not too bad. And we can replace those with a regular rifle, give AP1 for 5 points, or a crossbow to get a 24-inch range with rending. And you can replace 1 fire powder rifle with twin fire powder pistols, 2 shots at 9, a twin pistol, a Gatling rifle for 4 shots, AP1 at 18, or a sniper rifle, 1 shot at 30, AP1 reliable and takedown. Means it hits on a 2 and you get to choose your target. This will be good for taking out single enemy models, not for heroes, but like the enemy unit's banner or musician or sergeant. You could do the message runner for the extended buff range, and they can also do their sergeant, banner, musician in the squad. So, marksman. I like marksman. And the more I'm talking about it, the more I like the fire powder rifles. You know, you get 5 shots here. Let's go ahead and combine it for 120, because again, they're cheap enough. Why roll 5 dice when you can roll 10? In this case, with fracture, you're going to be getting 5 hits. 2 or 3 of those should be AP2. Not bad at all. I mean, I like that better than just having standard AP1 across everything, because here you got to pay for it. And up here, you know, even against most troops, the AP nothing is still going to be worth it. But AP plus 2 is nice when you need some spike damage on larger targets. So yeah, overall, I wouldn't worry about sergeant or musician. Banner, maybe. I mean, these guys should not be getting close to the front. They should be back there at 18 inches doing stuff. For the upgrade here, the one of them, I tend to lean on the Gatling rifle. In this case, you put 2 of them in a squad. You lose 2 shots, but you gained 8 shots. So at this point, you got 16 shots out of 10 dudes. 8 of those are going to be AP1. 8 of them are going to be with fracture. You know, 155 points. Not bad. You could do a champion, and you could do like the precision shooter buff on them. He doesn't even have to be in the squad because you can hand him out from somewhere else. You know, going to a 4-5 for shooting. Again, everything is nice and cheap in the army. You want options? You got options. Next, we're at the Mercenary Hunters. 75 points for 5 of them. They're a 5-5 unit with hold the line, scout, and stealth, which means, stealth means, if the enemy's more than 9 inches away, it's -1 to hit. They come with bows, 1 shot at 24, and 1 attack with hand weapons, and they have the Empire bounty, which gives them the precision fighting mark. So we got scout and stealth. Scout, in this case, where you have a range of 24, you don't want to use that to get closer. You want to use that to deploy these guys last. Somewhere the enemy's left like a nice juicy target from some unprotected angle, and then use these guys to plink away at them. Stealth is pretty nice too, depending on what the enemy is. In Age of Fantasy, you kind of run the risk of the enemy army having no shooting. In that case, the stealth rule would kind of be, you know, wasted points. But I mean, everyone's going to have some kind of shooting unless you're me and you make some really ridiculous melee armies. Yeah, again, Mercenary Hunters, I would still go with Marksman over the Mercenary Hunters. These guys might have a place, but I'm not sure where it is. Not in my doctrine. Not in my wheelhouse. Next unit is the Horse Marksman. 70 points for 5 of them. They're a 5-5 with a fast, hold the line, and scout. Here we got fire powder rifles and single hand weapons. We can replace the fire powder rifles with twin fire powder pistols, a rifle, or regular twin pistols. You can replace one of the rifles with a Gatling rifle or a twin Gatling pistol. You can upgrade one model with the message runner for the buff extendos, and then you have sergeant, banner, and musician. So once again, first thing, click that banner. Pass morale on a 3. And then because you're scouting fast, in this case, I would go with the fire powder pistols. Let's combine the unit. And then, well, let's see. 3. Gatling pistol, fire powder pistol. There we go. So in this case, for 155 points, you pretty much have, what is it, the mercenaries up here. We got the twin fire powder pistols. So here we go. For the difference of 130 to 155, you get the fast rule. You still have scout in both places, and here you can get the Gatling pistols for extra shots. 130 versus 155. Well, I forgot the banner. Oh, you can't even take the banner for these. So yeah, 130 versus 155. Man, Horse Marksman over top of Mercenaries, an extra 25 points. That's almost a no-brainer. Just to be fast. Extra firepower. Better morale tests. Yeah. These are comparisons I don't think about until like right now, putting these two next to each other. Yeah, 25 points. 25, yeah, no-brainers. No-brainers in this army. I like it. Next, we got the Knights, the Kniggets. 85 points for 5 of them. They're quality 4, defense 4. Fast, hold the line, and impact 1. Impact. You get X number of attacks. In this case, it's going to be 1 per model. When you charge on a 2-up, the enemy takes a hit with no AP. So that's as close as you can get to a guaranteed hit with stuff. I love Knights, but you only get this when you charge. And then they all have hand weapons. You can upgrade those hand weapons to lances. There is absolutely no reason on this earth why you shouldn't do that. You can do a message runner for the extended buff range. And you have the command options here. Again, go ahead and click that banner. So we got 100 points for 5 of them. Let's go ahead and combine that unit. 195 points for 10 of them. This is going to be where we start looking at our heroes. We're going to go Battle Master because he's a 4-4. The Knights are 4-4s. Let's look at a horse. And then we're going to put on Lance. This is going to be one where it's going to be nice to have the Furious buff. It only works on the Lances, does not work on the Impacts. Impacts, I'm not sure if the Impact actually classifies as an attack. More of like just an ability. I'm not sure. Another thing that would be cool with these, let's say you want to do a flank rush. Go ahead and go for coordinate, double it. So here we go, 500 points. You're going to have 20 Knights all charging into a flank on the same activation. Now we're getting a little bit spicy. I like it. There's really no other crazy things to do with these. I mean, maybe you could do a fear of 3 to make sure that you do win a combat. But let's see, between the impacts and the thrust hitting on a 3 at AP1, either you're going to win that combat or you're going to die in the attempt. 2 more basic units left. Next is the Guard Knight, starting off at 100 points. They are quality 4, defense 3, fast, hold the line, and impact 1. They come with lances automatically. You can replace the lances with great weapons to bump them up to AP2. You could do the extended range buff, and you could do the Sergeant Band Musician. Again, always click that button for the banner. For morale, passing on to 2. Again, might as well combine the unit for 205 points. Battle Master, again, same thing I said for the Knights would be good here. Really no other notes on that one. Maybe you want to put the Battle Master in the unit of Guard Knights and then coordinate to a normal Knight unit. Save a little bit of points there and keep your Battle Master protected a little bit better with these guys having defense of 3. That's about what you could do there. Or we can go to the next one, which are the Griff Riders. 165 points for the squad, quality 4, defense 3, fast, hold the line, impact 2, and toughness 3. These are your heavy cavalry. 1 attack at AP1 with heavy claws, 1 attack with thrust from a lance. You could upgrade the lance with a halberd for rending. And you could do the precision fighting mark to give them +1 to hit. And of course, click on the banner. So here we're getting pricey. 95 points for 3, or 360 points for 6 of them. Here, yeah, Griff Riders, I love heavy cavalry. This unit is to the point where she might be a little bit too spicy. A little bit too expensive. Compared to everything else, I mean, you're going to have a lot of points to spend in this army because everything else is so cheap. You can't, there's no Griffin option, or Griff, to put them on, so you would have to do the horse with a Battle Master. Again, I would keep the lances, because a halberd with rending, I mean, the guaranteed AP1 when you charge versus the AP4 on a 6. No, you know what? No, I'm gonna go back on the halberd for the rending, because rending gets rid of regeneration, and I've been running into a lot of regeneration everywhere. In case you guys haven't noticed. Here again, Furious buff. Everything else I said with the other guys is the same here. I would not worry about the Fear 3 option because defense 3. There's so many more attacks in this. You should be winning combat. This squad here is 435. Things are starting to get pricey real fast. Let's move on to the next group of stuff. And we move right into our chariots. We have the War Wagon of Earth. 95 points, quality 4, defense 3, hold the line, toughness 6, and transport 11. If you keep the transport, all you have is 2 attacks. So this might be the cheapest transport I have seen in the entire OPR range. You can get rid of the transport and crew attacks for a spear crew for 6 attacks, AP1 and rending, a crossbow crew for 6 shots, 24 in rending with 2 crew attacks for 35 points, and the precision fighting mark. This is nice. A real nice, cheap transport. The question is, what do you put in it? Let me do a little scouting to see what I could put in this thing. Alright, if you wanted to keep the transport, you could do this. You could do 10 mercenaries and a champion, giving them Furious, and the mercenaries all having 2 attacks apiece. So you got 24 attacks, hitting on a 5, 6s explode. That's all. It only comes in at 255. I mean, your defense is 5. You're not really gonna win on any clapback. You're probably aiming to kill whatever it is you get out and attack from the War Wagon of Earth. I mean, with Hold the Line, you don't have the option for a banner here, so these guys only pass morale on a 4. Defense 5, yeah, this is a strategy that won't handle much clapback, but you might be able to do enough damage in the initial rush that you wouldn't worry about it. You can do mercenaries with twin fire powder pistols, with again a champion with the precision shooter buff with his weapons, or it's completely viable to just give this thing crossbow crew and lurk around the edges, just taking 6 shots for 130 points. I mean, you're shooting better than your normal marksman at quality 4, defense 3, and toughness 6. That's not bad. I'm kind of stumbling over my words here, going, that's not bad. Then, of course, Spear Crew with the rending to get rid of, regeneration stuff with a precision fighting mark. That's only 125, man. Oh, I'm gonna be making so many chariots the next time I go around. That might be the next thing, is nothing but chariots. War wagons in this case. Next, we have the Hurricane Wagon of Air. 115 points to start with, quality 4, defense 3. Hold the Line, precision fighter buff built in, and toughness 6. We have 2 shots at blast 3 at 18. It's not bad. And the unit has no upgrades. So this is kind of like a mobile light artillery. I mean, there's no options here, so there's not really much to talk about. Like a second line unit moving behind all your troops in the front line, just firing off blasts. I mean, it only hits on a 4. You have the potential to completely whiff with this thing, but 115 points. It'll be nice as something to just go stand on an objective while everything else moves around it. Next, we have the Beamer Wagon of Fire. These names are getting cool. 155 points, quality 4, defense 3. Defense buff built in, giving someone +1 to defense rolls, meaning this thing could jump itself up defense 2. Hold the Line at toughness 6. We have 2 shots at AP2 deadly, 3 at 18, and the protective aura. We already talked about that. So, again, this is the same thing, same idea of the Wagon of Air, except this thing is going to be shooting at heavier targets, like monsters or heroes on dragons and stuff like that. 155, we're still in the real cheap territory. I like it. Next, we have the Ultra Wagon of Aether. 135, quality 4, defense 3. 6 shots at 18 rending, and it has a Furious buff built in. Interesting. So all 3 of these different chariots, or the different wagons, they all run the gambit of different style of shooting. And their buffs relate to that. +1 to hit and melee, +1 to defense, and Furious. Definitely support pieces. Not supposed to be on the front line. Defense 3, toughness 6. They could take a little bit of a beating from a base unit, but yeah, I mean, again, cheap enough. It works for me. Next, we're into the fun stuff. The Steam Tank of Water. 230 points, quality 4, defense 2. Fear of 2, hold the line, impact 6, and toughness 9. Comes with a tank cannon, 2 shots, AP1, blast 3 at 18, and a turret gunner, 3 shots, AP1 at 12. And you can replace the tank cannon with a heavy tank cannon to get you 2 shots, AP2, deadly 3. This is what I like to call a bully. The Steam Tank is a brick, and the Steam Tank knows it. So what this thing is going to do, defense 2, toughness 9, is great in Age of Fantasy. You can still be drugged down by massive numbers of things, but with Fear 2 and Impact 6, I probably wouldn't worry about shooting this. Well, okay, turn 1 I would shoot it, because you got to start on your deployment zone line. Move forward 6, fire off your weapons, and then after that, charge stuff. Just charge things with your fear, your impact, your defense, your toughness. You're going to be able to, like, you're going to win combats. Unless you charge into something that's like, a dragon. Or a really pissed off beastman character. So 230 points, just move these things forward. Just be bullies with them and have fun. Next up, we have the Empire Artillery for 65 points, quality 5, defense 5. It has artillery, which means it can only use hold actions. And then whenever it shoots something over 9 inches away, it gets +1 to hit. And when something shoots back at it, it's -2 to hit. Then it has hold the line and toughness 3. It is really kind of fragile, but you don't want to get shot with this. Even though you're at -2, everybody hits on a 6. Starting off with a fire, powder, volley gun, 6 shots with fracture. And the options for it here is we got the volley gun for 6 shots at AP1, a cannon for blast of 3 with 2 shots, a heavy cannon, deadly 3 with 2 shots, a rocket battery, blast 3 indirect with 2 shots, or a heavy mortar, 2 shots, blast of 3. It's just got more range than the rocket battery. And you can give it the precision fighting mark to hand out. So for your artillery cannons here, I would probably go with the indirect things like the rocket battery or the heavy mortar, because you're going to have a front line of troops that's not going to run away because of hold the line. And anything else that you have exposed, like that needs line of sight, something's going to find its way right into your face. So I would say indirect, hide behind your troops, lob shells over. Again, even the most expensive choice is 135 for 3-foot range. And then finally, we're going to talk about in the Human Empire armies, the Elemental Titan, 655 points, quality 3, defense 2, comes with a breath attack. Remember where I talked about activating and attacking 2 units at once? This guy can do it. Caster 3, I can do 3 units at once. Defense buff, fear 3, fearless, hold the line, and toughness 18. This is a brick. Brick made for melee. We have 18 attacks overall, AP2. And, we do have some options. We can replace the fire elemental with the air elemental. So instead of breath attack and defense buff, we get flying and precision fighter. The aether for furious and furious buff. Earth elemental for heavy claws, more attacks, and fortified. Water elemental for mend and resistance. Or the elemental chimera for breath attack, flying, fortified, furious, and resistance. So at 2,000 points, this Chimera is just over at 790. But everything else, even the water elemental, is right there on the line. Everything else you could take in 2,000 points. And to be quite honest with you, what I would probably take, everything's going to be caster. I would probably take, my gut reaction is telling me the Aether Elemental for Furious and Furious buff. Because you got, like I said, 18 attacks, AP2, hitting on a 3, you're going to roll some 6s, you're going to get some extra hits there. We got the caster. Yeah, if you're fighting against a monster, try to hit it with the elemental form to get AP +1, pushing all your stuff to AP3. Oh, beat stick time. Beat stick time. So that is the Human Empire for Age of Fantasy. Let's take a look at what I have put together. Oh, good lord, it's so much. Alright, so we're going to have to move stuff around. So, what I brought, I wanted to make an army that is based on ancient Greeks. Just because I've done plenty of Human Empire armies. I have quite a few of them out there. And I just wanted to, do something different. And basing it on ancient Greece, I thought it would be cool. So we got a Battlemaster join the 20 infantry. We got that 3 times. So we got 60 spearmen. All of them with spears with counterattack. This is going to be my front line. This is going to be my come at me, bro. I dare you. All of them have hold the line boosts. So we are all going to be passing morale on a 2. We don't even need to put the banners in there because the Battlemaster with the hold the line boost buff is going to go right down to a 2. Then we got 2 squads of 10 mercenaries with the twin pistols. I'm using Peltias for these. The guys throw in the javelins because, scout. Twin pistols and the fire powder pistols will probably be better, like we just talked about. But, javelins, I figured it'd only be AP1. And then we have 2 squads of 10 elite weapon masters led by champions. These are going to be our Spartans. So I put on some furious buffs for those. Then we have 3 units of mercenary hunters. We got 10 bows. In each of those, these are going to be, shooters, guys with bows. Again, ancient Greek. And then we have 10 knights with lances. And that will be the army that I put together this week. If I can get it painted. This is like 145 models. This is ridiculous. Look at this. I got to scroll up and down to even see all of it. So, yeah. That'll do it for me and the Human Empire. Going over it now. On Monday, you're going to see a painting video. I think I'm going to be holding some Spartans for that. And then on Thursday, you're going to see a live battle report between me and Uncle C, where these guys have to fight against the Retmen gun line. We'll see how that goes. So if you liked the video, make sure you like and subscribe. Remember to check out our video sponsor, PrintedStarships.com, where code warbossfitz gets you 15% off. And I hope you're having fun playing OPR wherever you are, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.